The year was 1984. Reagan was re-elected, and with that, the new conservatism stayed put in the US. 1984, the year when the Big Brother watched all of us, is also the moment when the MoMA in New York celebrated the International Survey of Contemporary Painting and Sculpture, an exhibition that was looking to demonstrate the museum's commitment to the living artist pieces. Kinaston McShane, the curator, infamously said that any artist that wasn't shown should rethink his career. Yes, his. From the 166 artists, only 15 were women. They protested, of course, but it wasn't enough to change anything. Flash forward to the spring of 1985, when posters started to appear on all the places important for the art in New York City. And all were signed the same way, by the Guerilla Girls. From the beginning, they point out the difference between men and women in the artistic world, shouting and denouncing the patriarchy that keeps choosing who they want to be seen. The Guerilla Girls use anonymity as a defense against this, using code names, names of greatest female artists of history. Two of the known heads of the movement, Frida Kahlo and Kate Kollwitz, declared that the movement was born from a single question. How do you take a subject no one wants to be reminded of, discrimination in art, and present in a way that can be ignored? The Guerilla Girls use culture jamming, using it to attack the power structures using the same tools as propaganda, but instead of looking for a vote, they tease the audience. Their most popular piece, "Do Women Have to Be Naked to Get into the Met Museum," presents data of how the presence of women in Met is more from being muses than for being artists. It used a woman lying naked with the characteristic symbol of the collective, a gorilla mask.
Masculinity. That's how they call it. A satire to the patriarchy and how it's certainly easier to be part of the world of art by being disguised as a man. Because women, of course, are only for male gaze, and only for that. But they were having none of it. The concept was introduced by Lorna Mulway in the 70s, and it refers to the way women are despited in the world of entertainment, publicity, and in this case, art, as a subject, a woman, is seen and represented from a male point of view, for a male audience, transforming the subject from a person to an object of pleasure, and in the world of art, a commodity in the male economy. Their work is rooted in a moment and discourses of their own time. That's true. Even them were founded as a response to neoconservatism, being part of the renaissance of artivism, fighting fiercely for space and for their voice. A voice rude and indecent, that was tired to mute by a few, like the Senator Jesse Helms, who intended to cut their funds.
The Guerilla Girls responded with a poster in 1987, where they asserted that the world of art was everything but not liberal. That was not the last time they used words and inserted knowledge to prove a point. In 1990, they dropped the banner called Guerilla Girl Description for Hypocrite, denouncing the art collectionists for what they are doing, consuming and buying art almost entirely from white male artists, stepping aside from women and black artists. Those in power flex once again a false consciousness. Sounds familiar?
2 years later, in 1992, he showed up with a banner supporting the right for legal abortion, something that at the time was highly discussed and debated for how that would affect the perfect family image and the religious education system. The Guerilla Girls, as you see, took a deep look into history, justify abortion as a traditional value, technically. Time skipped into 2017, when a few billboards were released on how art is just another commodity for those seeking for power, an active asset used to gain status by possessing it. The art presented as just a way to retain a narrative by a few for everyone, a tale of power and wealth. History is never neutral.
After almost 40 years, the Guerilla Girls showed that the art world still has many problems with equality. Through their cultural work, their way of changing ideas and starting new conversations, they created a global message that people understand in many countries. Their posters talk not only about sexism in art, but also about violence, racism, and other social issues. The Guerilla Girls tried to reject the idea of the author, but their mask, humor, and style have become a very clear identity. Even without showing their names, people recognize their work. This connects to the idea of the death of the author, and also to Foucault's idea that power never disappears. It moves and appears in new places, even inside groups that want to fight it. Even with these contradictions, the Guerrilla Girls have changed the way we look at art. They inspire many women to enter and stay in the art world. Their fight is still active, and maybe one day, that famous poster will finally show equal numbers of men and women artists.